Hello, how are you? My name's Tony. Welcome to Edinburgh. I hope you're all happy, healthy and well out there. Today we are going to talk about the lost gates to Edinburgh. So, Edinburgh, as I've mentioned before, used to be a walled-in city. The majority of it was called the Flodden Wall, and I've done a video a few years ago now where I traced the roots of the Flodden Wall. I will leave a link in the description to it if you want to go check that one out. But today we're just going to talk about the main gates to Edinburgh, which were located halfway down the Royal Mile. Just before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out, a huge shout out, which I haven't done for a while, and I need to do it more often because they're just amazing, to all my patrons. These incredible people keep me going, and I couldn't do the video without them. So if you are a patron out there, thank you so much. I would have had to stop doing this a long time ago if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much. I think 3 girls just popped their head in the back of the video then. But yes, if you want to be a patron, there's a link in the description. I post a picture of the week every week and put up personal vlogs, really, stuff like that, and every now and again some cool stuff that I find I put up and share for you as well. So if that sounds fun, then please consider becoming a patron. If not, hey, watch the videos and like the videos. But all of you who are, thank you. Now, let's go have a look where the gates used to be. We're back to those gold bricks on the ground again. Oh, how I love my gold bricks. So the Netherbow Port was located right here at the bottom of the High Street section of the Royal Mile. As soon as we cross that road, we're into the Canongate section. Now, it was mostly for defence, but it wasn't great at that, and it largely controlled the flow of people and goods into the city. So, let's talk dates. The original gates right here was about 1369, or at least that's the earliest records. It might be earlier, I don't know, but the earliest records that people have found reference it in 1369. But I'm going to guess that means it was already built by then, so I don't know when it was actually built. Now, it was rebuilt in 1513 to a far more grand and incredible structure with turrets and things like that. In fact, it looked like this. So, it used, like I said, it used to control mostly the flow of goods in and out of the city. So you'd have to pay a toll. You had to pay a toll a lot round about that. Obviously we've got the toll booth down there, toll booth prison down there. You've got, so I don't know if you had to pay a toll to get into the bottom half of the Canongate and then a toll to get into the Edinburgh. I mean, you'd be better staying in a field. But yeah, so you'd have to pay a toll to get in and out of the city, which meant a lot of people that lived in the Canongate section, because that wasn't Edinburgh at the time. That didn't become Edinburgh until round about the 1800s sometime. Edinburgh really expanded from that point. I think that's when it was officially absorbed. I don't have a date properly at the top of my head, I apologise about that. But that's when it was properly absorbed into the city. And we can see there that that building there is 1869 by the date right there. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. It did used to control people in and out, but that meant that people who lived in Edinburgh here mostly never left the city because they couldn't afford to pass the gates. Or if they did manage to get the money to pass the gates, there's a very good chance that they'd never raise the money to get back in. I'm sure there must have been secret entrances here and there. There must have been somewhere, but for the most part, no one really left. That must have been a very, very hindering life, you know what I mean? Just being stuck within the walls of the city, which truthfully wasn't huge. If you have a look at the map of Edinburgh walled in, it's not big. It's not big at all, because we're really stopping just to the right of me. The closest didn't even go down as far as, what do you call it, Prince Street Gardens. The wall was along that way, and we can go down here and round, but then, you know, it cuts back down by the grass market and things. It really wasn't a big city, so people would be stuck in that space their entire life, and that was the end of the world to them, because they never ever got out. That's why that's called the World's End pub, because that was it. You stopped there. Not as far as you were concerned, nothing happened outside there. And next time you're in this section of the Royal Mile as well, I know it kind of looks like it matches up there from the Cannon Gate to here, but when you go here, after you're past John Knox house, the street gets a lot wider. Now that was a deliberate thing here, as again, a bit of a defensive thing. The gate's small, you know, it's really a small space if they're breaking in that way, and everyone here could, if they were defending, could box them in. But this area right here really became quite a thoroughfare of shops and businesses and bars and cafes and everything. This was a real hub, because as soon as you came into the city, you hit this, or just before you left the city, you hit this. Last chance to buy something before you leave, first chance to get something as soon as you come in. So you know, it's the first thing you see. So this was a proper hotspot of the city right here. Still is in many ways. However, the gates did eventually get knocked down because they felt that it had become a hindrance. We're in the 1700s now. They really felt it had become a hindrance, and it just wasn't helping the flow of goods in and out of the city. I think the tolls had stopped by this time. I'm assuming they had if they thought about knocking it down. Expansion of Edinburgh had started as well, you know, and we're starting to head down into the new town and things like that as well. So it was just slowing things down, so they decided to get rid of it, which is devastating. If you think of places like York, where they've still got these big walls, these defensive walls that used to be that you could walk around and things. It was an incredible structure. Let's look at the picture again. It's an incredible structure. It's beautiful. There's so many pictures of it and drawings of it. And turrets and everything. Can you imagine that still standing there? I mean, that in itself would be one of the most pictured things in Edinburgh. It'd be that in the castle. You know what I mean? It would be incredible. There are things to remember it. Right up there. I've shown this before. There's the plaque. Demolished in 1764. However, the plaque does say that it was built in 1873. Erected 1873, demolished 1764. I've said this before, but I do love it. Because the plaque went up in 1873, but the gates came down in 1764. There you go. You know, that's good old Scots logic for you there. But yeah, it's a real shame that it's not there anymore. I think it just would have... I would have loved to seen it. I still do love to see it. When I see pictures, I think it's incredible. It's beautiful. But you can still see bits of it, and I've showed you these before. Part of it is up there. There it is. Can you see that bell right there? That was the bell that used to be on the gate, so it would be there somewhere, up there somewhere. There was a clock. There's a clock that was at the top as well. That still survives. Apparently that's on Dean's Gallery. I've never actually been to see it. I don't know if that's still there, but that's where apparently it went. And lastly, there's a plaque on the side of the Scottish Storytelling Centre, which again I've talked about in some of my shorts. Have you ever seen any of my short videos on Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube as well? Which marks the visit of King James the 6th of Scotland, 1st of England, who was supposed to be coming. So they built a plaque with the dates on it, and then he never came. So it's a plaque to commemorate a royal visit that never happened. Once he became king of both England and Scotland, he hardly ever came back up here, which, you know, harsh. So there you have it, very, very briefly. The lost gates of Edinburgh, situated right here. Let's have another look at where it used to be, because you know I love my gold bricks, and they've actually done these really well. I'm really glad these bricks are here. It really points out exactly where it is. So you can imagine, for a lot of people, that's it. That's the end of the world to them. And then there was this massive, empowering just structure. There's the entrance there. It's not big, you know what I mean? Big enough for a horse and cart. That was about it. And then you've got the walls here, and you can even see where the turret was They've got the outline, there it is, can you see that? That circular outline right there. There we go. And it's exactly the same on the opposite side. Let's, oh look, perfect timing, green man. There we go, see, look, there it is. And there is the other bit right there, and down. And then this right here would just be a wall. It'd be a wall all the way down. In fact, if we look down here, some of the wall is still standing. Like I said, I've done a tour of trying to trace the route before, but that's the wall right there. That's still part of the old flodden wall, the old wall to the city. So that would be all. So there we have it. There we have it. The lost gates to the city. There's part of me that's really sad. Part of me that's really sad it's gone. I think it would be incredible if it was still here. Anyway, it would change the city. You know, traffic wouldn't be flowing like this. I would imagine that would just be a walkway. You know what I mean? It would be foot traffic. No buses, no cars, it would be foot traffic. Which, they've toyed with the idea of that quite a lot. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, thank you to all my incredible patrons. Until next time, bye humans.